sure you want to do this?
5.
A lot has changed.
4.
You're right.
3. 2. 1. Go.
The front end of Dom's car rises. He takes the lead. Campos watches from the driving range.
Right turn ahead.
In a tight group, the four turn.
You are now 5 miles from your destination.
A street vendor watches the race. Brian makes a wide turn. Two cars collide while dodging the skyline. Dom taps Brian's rear. Seen from above, they speed through the streets. The fourth driver, a bearded man, is last.
How my ass look to you, Ben?
Ghetto Smurf.
Dom drives into oncoming traffic and moves ahead of Brian, who is blocked by a truck and an SUV. Brian moves left and passes the truck. Dom drives against traffic.
Dead man driving. Come on.
Right turn ahead.
Dom makes a wide turn through an intersection. The BMW slides into the right turn. The bearded man's car drifts through the turn and is T-boned by an SUV.
Oh, shit!
A car hits the SUV. Brian accelerates under the SUV as it goes airborne.
Rerouting.
Brian drives parallel to the other two cars. He approaches a red light.
Rerouting.
He weaves around cars. The GPS route is ahead. The two pass under the bridge Brian is on.
Proceed straight ahead.
He turns left into an alley.
Rerouting.
Pedestrians dive out of the way as Brian speeds across the street and continues through the alley.
Rerouting.
Brian's red line heads toward the yellow race route, which runs perpendicular.
You are 2.6 miles from destination.
BMW sideswipes Dom.
Oops, I didn't see you.
The BMW is just ahead of Dom.
You are now 4.5 miles from your destination.
Brian turns right. He avoids one car and is hit by another. He is above and parallel to the others. He accelerates. The slender BMW driver glances at Dom. A house is ahead of Brian.
U-turn if possible.
Are you kidding me?
You are now 4.2 miles from your destination.
Sorry, car.
Brian drives through a guardrail and drives down the embankment.
You are now 1 mile from your destination.
That gets his back, Dom.
Brian follows the BMW.
Let's go!
The BMW rams Dom.
Nice car, baby!
Dom retaliates. The BMW veers. Dom speeds away. The BMW hits the curb and flips. As the car tumbles in front of the skyline, Brian veers down a ramp. The car breaks through the guardrail on a bridge and lands in front of Brian. Brian swerves to avoid it. The Chevelle's undercarriage hits the crown of the road. Brian speeds up an on-ramp. Side by side, they race. Dom's rear end fishtails into Brian.
You are now now 1/4 mile from your destination.
They are even. Dom hits the nitrous button. He passes Brian.
Too early, Dom.
Brian hits his button. Brian's headlights near in Dom's mirror. Brian overtakes Dom. Dom rams it. Brian spins out.
Still a bus there.
You have reached your destination. Goodbye.
Dom slides the car parallel to the fence. Stares ahead. Tej raises his arm.
Go!
He chops his arm down. Slapjack keeps pace with Brian. The crowd rushes to fill the street behind them. Flames spout from the 4 exhausts. Brian shifts. He glances at his meters. He looks at Slapjack, who accelerates ahead of him. Julius glares and shifts. Suki shifts. They race single file, Slapjack in the lead. Suki brings up the rear. Brian pulls up bumper to bumper with Slapjack. Slapjack glances at his rearview mirror. He accelerates and pulls left. Brian steers right. Brian scans his mirrors and meters. He shifts and pulls even with Slapjack. Slapjack glances at Brian. Ahead are a row of parked trucks. The trucks loom close. Turning left, Slapjack rounds a corner. Brian follows close behind. Suki and Julius bring up the rear. Slapjack veers left and right.
You ain't passing me, dog. You ain't passing me. Come on.
Brian darts side to side.
What you got, man?
Brian heads right. They race by a road closed sign.
I told you you weren't gonna pass me.
Brian starts to pull up to his right, but falls back again. Suki darts behind Julius. She hits the gas. An animated girl snarls on her dash display. Julius glances at his side mirror.
Move, bitch!
Julius and Suki zigzag behind Brian. Slapjack pulls the brake. He and Brian turn at a road closed sign. Julius and Suki turn. They pull away from an arena. Brian accelerates. Julius veers left. Brian bumps Slapjack. Brian shifts. Flames shoot from his exhaust. He moves to Slapjack's left. Slapjack blocks Brian. The 4 race by storefronts. The order remains the same. A flat tool pops a lock off a door. 3 men rush inside a bridge control station. 2 more stand guard.
Not tonight, baby.
Bend over, boy.
Suki bumps Julius's rear.
Damn, girl.
Brian shifts and checks his rear view. Julius weaves back and forth before Suki. Slapjack glances back. Brian gains on Slapjack's left. They speed away. Julius and Suki follow.
Last turn, last turn.
Slapjack drifts right. Brian cuts inside him.
Too wide.
They turn side by side. Slapjack stares left. Brian grins and nods. Slapjack looks ahead. Brian shifts and hits the gas. He pulls away.
Full stretch, baby.
Slapjack hits a nitrous button. Blue flame roars from the exhaust. Slammed into his seat, Slapjack races down the street.
Gotta go, dog.
Brian watches Slapjack overtake him. Brian accelerates. Suki weaves behind Julius. He shifts and turns. Suki follows close behind. She shifts and cuts ahead.
Holy Abuna!
Julius chases Suki. Brian pulls up behind Slapjack.
Estoy comiendo el culo!
Suki glances back at Julius.
I can smell you!
Yo, Jimmy, hit it, baby.
A man presses 2 levers. A section of the bridge rises.
Alright? Y'all see that? Told y'all I had a surprise. How you like that for a finale?
The bridge extends high above the opposite section. Distant headlights approach. Brian approaches Slapjack's rear wheel. Slapjack stares at the raised bridge ahead.
Bridge.
Slapjack hits the nitrous. Streetlights blur. Spitting flame, Slapjack pulls away from Brian. He races up the bridge. Brian accelerates. Slapjack's speedometer crosses 100, 110, 115. Brian follows close behind. He hits 2 nitrous buttons. 3 gauges move. Brian is slammed into his seat. Lights blur. His speedometer crosses 150, 160. Slapjack is airborne with Brian right behind.
Oh!
Slapjack watches Brian launch over and past him. The cars land and race on. Sparks flicker from Slapjack's front wheels. Brian drives on. Slapjack struggles to steer. The car skids off the road into a billboard. Suki hits her own nitrous button. Twin exhausts spit pink fire. She pulls away from Julius. Julius drifts to a stop. Suki drives off the bridge. The front bumper shatters as she lands. She smiles. Brian grins. The crowd clears off the road. Brian skids to a stop. Tej nods slowly.
First one out the other side.
Make it interesting, Clay.
Removing her bra, a girl throws it in the air. As the bra lands, the drivers drive off, hurtling down a thoroughfare neck and neck. Clay pulls ahead and blocks the brown-haired man behind him. In a black pickup truck, the students film the race. Clay tails the pickup closely, but the brown-haired boy tries to overtake on the outside. Clay swerves to block his opponent, and the brown-haired boy drives into some garbage cans. Clay and his friends celebrate, but the brown-haired boy peels off the road and drives along the house's front gardens, and then rejoins the main road. Swinging around a tight corner, the brown-haired boy crashes into some porter toilets. Blue liquid splashes the screen. Clay and his girlfriend laugh as they streak ahead. On the straight, the brown-haired boy's speedometer reaches 100 miles per hour and closes in on Clay, who makes an abrupt right. Glancing around, the brown-haired boy takes a shortcut through the housing development, and the cars race on parallel roads. Edging in front of Clay, the brown-haired boy smiles to himself. The leggy blonde glares at Clay.
I thought you loved me.
Clay accelerates. The brown-haired boy's eyes widen as he swerves around some machinery.
Oh well.
He drives through the middle of a house. Wooden beams fly and splinter as the car leaps into the air and lands behind Clay on the main road.
What the hell?
The leggy blonde flashes the brown-haired boy a smile as he pulls up beside Clay, and he raises an eyebrow at her.
Guess I got a new date for prom.
Clay rams his opponent. Pieces of red and white bodywork fly about as Clay repeatedly rams Sean.
Clay, stop the car! Stop it!
Clay pulls ahead, but the brown-haired boy clips his back bumper, causing the red car to spin out and crash into a piece of cement drain pipe. The students run to safety as the brown-haired boy swerves out of control and flips the car.
Steps in front of the two cars to start them off.
Listen up! Out here we're used to getting what we want. This is London, baby. But remember, don't bite the bait. Are you ready? Ready? Ready. Steady.
The enthusiast drops her hands and the cars set off. The Dodge pops a small drag racer-style wheelie. The Jensen takes the lead as the cars hit the street and race up Whitehall. Dom changes gear and rapidly closes in. They weave through the traffic. Dom pulls the Charger alongside the Jensen. Letty drops the Jensen down a cog and it pulls forward once again. As the cars screech onto Piccadilly Circus, Dom takes the lead. The cars drift around the statue of Eros. A child on a passing bus watches in amazement. Displeased, Letty changes gear in the Jensen and gives it the beans as they leave the circus. A police car tags along behind them.
Just like old times.
Dom stamps on the accelerator, taking the Dodge up over 100 miles an hour. It barrels down the street on the limit of traction with the Jensen just behind. The police car's not doing badly either, staying hot on their heels. Dom grins as he pilots the Dodge. Letty looks grimly determined at the wheel of the Jensen. As they hurtle down another street, Dom swerves hard to avoid a car, and the back end of the Dodge fishtails. Dom pulls a 180-degree turn in the road. It bamboozles the police driver, who crashes into a parked car. Letty grins. Dom reverses at speed alongside the Jensen. He grins over at Letty, then swaps cogs and spins the Dodge back round the right way.
This guy's crazy.
They race on and Letty handbrake turns around a corner. Dom edges into the lead once again. They hurtle on through the nighttime streets in a flurry of gear shifts and tyre smoke. On a straight, the Jensen starts to nudge past the Dodge. As the Dodge begins to pull back alongside, Letty prepares to use nitrous oxide injection to give her a boost. As she overtakes a bus, she hits the switch and the Jensen surges forward. Dom overtakes the bus on the other side. He also engages nitrous injection and the Dodge edges past the Jensen. Letty notices her nitrous pressure is dropping.
You gotta be kidding me.
The Dodge races over the finish line just ahead of the Jensen. They're back by the cenotaph on Whitehall. Dom slows and Letty pulls alongside. She reluctantly concedes defeat. The cars pull off the road and drive across some waste ground. They pull up in front of Battersea Power Station and park up. Letty gets out of the Jensen and walks over to Dom as he gets out of the Dodge.
Still upshifting them.